Good evening, everybody. It is just gone 8 o'clock, and it is Monday, which means it's time for the Total Evercade podcast. So, before we jump into the chat and see who we have got hanging out with us this evening, let's go across the panel. So, we have got our Bananas.
Hello, everyone. Good congratulations to you, Super Rob Zillago. You have leveled up.
Leveled up! And we have also got the man, the myth, the legend, Derek Sir Topham Hatt. How are you doing this evening, Derek?
Good evening. Yeah, it's great to be here. So, yeah, I'm very excited about tonight. And hopefully, yeah, we've got lots of great people joining us as well in the chat.
Indeed, indeed. Tim is unfortunately not able to make it this evening. Tim has, of course, had a trouser accident. We were a couple of minutes late going as well because there was a potential that I may have had a trouser accident this evening. So, you know, we're all flying by the seat of our pants this evening, man. All of us, every single one of us. So, yes, good evening, everybody. So, let's go through the chat. We have got Nicholas Skippins in the chat. Good evening. I hope you are keeping good. We've got Paul Brennan. Good evening, Paul. Nick Craddock. Always wonderful to see you. Oh, it's never the same without you, Dave Newland. Chris Dunham, good evening, Chris. I hope you're well. Colin Brown, I hope you're good. Gene, good to see you. Tales from the Jundland, good evening, my friend. Oh, again, another person. It wouldn't be the same without Rob Taylor. Thank you so much for that little donation there. Good evening, Ryan.
And R.I.P.
Yeah, look at that. Hangout has passed 3,700 members. Congratulations.
Ryan's also sent me a message, some stuff he wants me to read out later, so we can do that later on.
Okay, congratulations. Yeah. Mark M, good evening, Mark M. We got Dominic Bradley. Good evening, Dominic. And Dan Upton. Good evening, Dan. Shams. Howdy do. Stephen Force 1. Good evening. The poltergeist. The power of Christ compels you. Good evening. It's wonderful to see you guys. And yeah, thank Pampers are made. Correct. Yeah. Anyhow, let's jump in. Everyone that's joining, you are all incredibly welcome. So let's get cracking. Our first topic for this evening, as always, what are you playing? So, Bludders, what have you been playing?
So yeah, I did manage to pick up both the new carts. I have been playing them. We will go into a bit more depth on them later. And yeah, fantastic as I thought. Really enjoying it. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but I'll speak about them later. Also, I've been playing my alpha, mainly the alpha, to be honest, rather than my EXP or my versus. But yeah, mainly the alpha I've been playing. Fantastic bit of kit. And I had my nephew round, and he saw me playing it. Then he wanted to have a go. So yeah, he's only like 7 or 8, and he was loving it. He was loving it, just playing. So yeah, I've got the Mega Man one, not the Street Fighter one. So yeah, we were playing that. Yeah, I'll go into a bit more depth of the games I've played later. So yeah, that's me done.
Excellent. Derek, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been on the alpha as well. I've been really enjoying myself. Playing a lot of Snow Brothers and Flying Shark. So yeah, totally different on both ends, but yeah, just really enjoying it. And it's just great to have that screen on the alpha. It really makes the games pop and brings them to life. And I can lose hours on it, to be honest. It really does give you that arcade experience. Considering it's that much smaller than an actual cabinet, I don't really take that in when I'm playing it. I've got the joystick, I've got the buttons, I'm zoomed in on the screen, and it's just magic. And something like Snow Brothers is just absolutely brilliant, especially if you can get a friend round and connect up a joypad or another arcade stick there and have 2 players. That could be a riot.
Yeah, I need to get into a position where I could buy an alpha. I know Ryan keeps sort of teeing me up about the possibility of his, and I really want one. I really do, because I think I would get a lot of use out of it. But I've just got to get into that position. So I haven't been able to pick up the new carts yet, which is a real slog for me because I really do want those new carts. so to console myself, I have actually gone back and played a game that I've never actually beaten, and been on the list to beat for a long time, and it's a classic. And I finally got round to finishing Boogerman, which
classic.
Yeah, classic.
May have taken me a little while. I remember borrowing it from my friends back in the day on the Super Nintendo, and just never quite getting there. So this time round, it was a case of nope, not played it all the way through. That's what I'm going to console myself with about the carts. And I still think Boogerman today, much like Earthworm Jim, it just looks fantastic. It's such a gross game for the time, flicking bogeys at you, and he sort of, it has the animation style of like Banana Man, where everything's really exaggerated, gangly, and it's just, I don't want to say it's a charming game because it's, you know, toxic waste and bogeys, but it really is quite a charming game. It really did just take me right back to Super Nintendo's 16-bit era. So yeah, Boogerman for me has been where I am at. Lots of people putting in the chat there that they've been playing the Roguecraft, been playing Neo Geo. I can see Shems there says they're torn between Mega Man or Taito. Oof.
Ooh.
We suggest there the Mega Man one is pretty cool.
Yeah, because at least the Taito one you can get the carts for it later, which you probably will get. So then at least, I mean, you can't get them carts. They can't get the games that are on Mega Man.
No.
So,
and Street Fighter as well has also got the alpha games which aren't available. In fact, all the Street Fighter games. There's only Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition which is available, and even then you got to get the original EXP in order for that to come with it. So, what a world we live in when that's the choices we need to make. Love it. Love it. Righty, let's jump on to the first topic of this evening, and that is 2 new carts have been announced, and they are Activision and Llamasoft Collection 1 have been announced. So, Blunners, what did you think?
Yeah, so I jumped in on the live on this, and I'm just, while we're doing that, quickly just sharing the screen. I get Derek to go a bit more depth about it, but I didn't see it coming. Did not see it coming at all. Llamasoft looks absolutely batshit crazy, doesn't it? Like Gene Jake in the chat with us at the time said, "Don't forget to drop your acid pill before you play it, because there it is some crazy stuff going on." So no, this was kind of, the thing was, it was kind of just before my time. A lot of game, like I came into the, like around about the NES time, like late 90s. So I wasn't really, we weren't really Amiga household, so I kind of missed these games. So this would be all new for me. But as you can see, there's a lot of games on the cart, 27 on this one. But Derek might need to, because I'm sure on the other side they were saying it, on another website was saying like there was more on the America. I think it might have been on like an American website. It was saying that was more. So did not see this one coming at all. And the other cart, the was Activision one, annoyed me because it was already leaked. It was already leaked. Everything got leaked about that cart before you knew that one was coming. There was already a list of the games that were coming out, and you're just like, oh, come on, man, you're just ruining it for me. But both for me, I think both carts are gonna struggle because you've got Rare coming out at the same time. And for people who can only afford, like, they're all £20 as well, so there's no Giga cart there. But for people who can't afford all 3 carts, because there was bonuses and stuff they were giving out, but for people who can't afford it, I think the Rare cart, I remember Derek saying when we were last on, like, the interest in the Rare cart is mad. Like, loads of people are after it. So I do think these two might struggle compared to that. Whereas the older, this will be fantastic for like the guys that were gaming before before me. But yeah, I'm glad they've got them. Activision's a great one to get on board. I just feel you got to it's a great, like, at least they've actually shown some interest. They've actually got Activision now on board. So then can that lead to a few carts.
A few
Like
little
Gene
gems.
he's put Llamasoft is most interesting of November carts for me. I may skip Llamasoft one as I already have the collection on Switch, which I'm sure that Derek will get onto when he starts talking about it. So yeah, that's me. On to you, Derek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, Evercade fans have been asking for an Activision collection and Llamasoft, believe it or not. I've seen loads of people in tons and tons of threads, really pretty much since the Evercade got off the ground, asking for these two companies. So hopefully people are absolutely delighted. Again, these games were a bit too primitive, even for me. I started gaming in 1984. But by the time I discovered games like Pitfall, for instance, on Activision, or Attack of the Mutant Camels, they were given away free on cover tapes for things like Commodore Format magazine. I was quite taken back then with Pitfall, and I did spend quite some time playing that game. Not so much with Attack of the Mutant Camels. I moved on to other types of games at that point. I was very fortunate with the Commodore 64 to have a great disk drive and could really get into some fantastic adventures on there. But yeah, I mean, obviously the Nintendo Switch has already done the Llamasoft collection, 42 games on there, including Atari Jaguar and a couple of others which don't feature on the Evercade cartridge. Nonetheless, though, 27 games. It's good value for money, and if you are into a very sort of sort of in television style gaming, then obviously things like this are right up your alley. For myself personally, as I say, I mean, it's already available on Nintendo Switch. Activision is fantastic to get on there. I've got a PlayStation 1 collection with 30 games on, and a PlayStation 2 collection. I think I've got 45 games on that collection. So yeah, I mean, for myself, there's no need to pick up either of these. But if I didn't have a Nintendo Switch or a PlayStation 1 or 2, then obviously these are ideal buys, because £20 a pop, there's lots of games, lots of content, and I'm sure people will find their favorites in there. It's sometimes a case with these games is they are brick hard, so you've got to be ready for that. It's not going to be a game you're going to crack in 5 minutes, but something like Pitfall you can keep going at. But obviously there's the advantages of things like save states now, so you're far more likely to collect those gold bars and get right through it. Back when I owned it, you had to literally do it in one hit, and that was a big ask with crocodiles and swinging on ropes, and we were well into things like Indiana Jones and things like that. So yeah, we kind of lived our times through games like Pitfall. But obviously, by the time I could get Temple of Doom on the C64, it was quite a game changer to get that type of arcade game on there. So yeah, games like Pitfall suffered, but it's still a massive, massive title even today. And I think people, they might just snap it up for sort of nostalgia or interest, just to see if it's their type of game, especially if you're into shooters. Something like Llamasoft's ideal. You're going to have a great deal of fun. Actually, a little fun fact about the Llamasoft collection. Obviously, you can be 4 different types of like mutant camels, but there's actually only 2 llamas. Yeah, you think they would have gone with llamas on every occasion? Where the camels came from, who knows? But yeah, that was just a bit of a strange one. But yeah, I'm excited. I think, like Blunners, I'm very, very excited to see where we can go with Activision, because I did own a lot of Activision games back then, but it wasn't any of these. As I say, the only ones I came across were free on cover tapes. So I think that there's great potential. And sometimes you have to take the rough with the smooth. It's nice for other people that remember this type of gaming, and I'm sure they're going to have a great time. But yeah, as I say, I've just got so many ways to play Activision currently in my collection, and obviously with the Llamasoft collection with 42 games, I'm not missing out on anything. Yeah, there's no real drive for me right now, but yeah, if I see them in a sale in the new year, who knows? I might just grab them up.
Okay. So for me, obviously I've heard of Activision, so Activision probably is going to be something that immediately interests me more. A lot of the games on the Activision cart are games that I've not really played a great deal of, just given the era that it's from, and probably the systems that some of these games are available on as well. Of course, I've played things like Pitfall and Private Eye, but really almost everything else is going to be a slightly new experience for me. So I did have a little quick look online after the announcement just to see some gameplay, see people playing the games. And the one that really does kind of strike me as being something which could be dead cool is Beam Rider. I know absolutely diddly squat about it, but Beam Rider for me is something that I think I might be quite interested in. But I mean, yeah, just looking at these types of games, I mean, they all look like they are from a very particular era of gaming, which speaks to quite a lot of people. It's slightly before my time, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be able to enjoy diving in on some of these classics. And, you know, Activision are one of the biggest publishers in the world at the moment. So, you know, who knows what this door might open up. You know, even just for the nostalgia factor of things like Pitfall, it could be really worth it. But the Llamasoft is a completely new one for me. Everything on that is going to be brand spanking new. I have, how many blue carts do I have? I've only got 3 blue carts. So, you know, the home computer stuff is not stuff that I'm very familiar with, as people who watch the show will know. You know, we didn't have a home computer growing up. For me, it was console gaming. So some of these home computer carts are, I've got to be really in the mood for them. But this one does just look, I mean, look at it. Look at that.
He's shooting a camel in the arse then?
Yeah, I think he was. There's like a crazy rabbit running around. Like, it just looks absolutely bananas. I mean, look at that. There's a camel shooting lasers out of its freaking eye beams.
So Derek, is it I like the A and Bs, is there much different in them? Because it's like
what do you
like
mean
when
by
you go
A and
through
B?
it, because it says like Grid Runner version A, and then there's like Grid Runner version B. Is there like much difference?
It might depend. For instance, it could be something like a VIC-20 version and perhaps an Atari ST version, something like that, or it might have had a remastered version. There's a couple of remastered ones on there as well. So, yeah, perhaps he did a more updated version a bit later on.
I mean, the thing
is just.
Sorry, go on, Glenn, I was talking over you.
Just because you've got like Hellgate version B, Laser Zone version B, Matrix Grid Runner 2 version B. If that's just the same game but like a tiny difference, Revenge of the Mutant Camels version B, do you know what I mean? Is that considered a whole new game?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know anything about the Llamasoft. That's all.
No, I mean, whether you played something on Atari ST or an Amstrad CPC or a ZX Spectrum, it's pretty much all the same. It was just the colors that were a bit different. It wasn't, otherwise it was just an 8-bit version. So yeah, I mean, if you had obviously an Atari ST, I owned an Atari STE. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's 16-bit, so the game would be obviously a graphical improvement, slightly with something like that. It's not going to be huge, but yeah, that's what I imagine what they're angling at with that.
Yeah.
Also, this little collection you can get, the bundle that's over there, £70.
All 3 with rare.
It's all free with a calendar.
Oh, the calendar, just in case you need a calendar.
There you go, me on page 3.
See, that's what they should have got. They should have gotten the Evercade community.
You'll love it.
Just somebody stood there with a super pocket, just covering.
I need something a bit bigger than that, but yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure. For me, it'd be at least 3 EXPs, you know. But yeah, for me, the thing that really ticks a rather big box is the way that I tend to find these home computer carts look on the various Evercade systems. They do seem to be running incredibly smooth. Now, I don't have any prior knowledge of whether or not the the home computers ran that smooth, or whether it was a little bit janky, a little bit sort of jittery. But it does seem to look like butter smooth, and that makes the whole process of a home computer cartridge quite appealing to me, certainly for the ones that I've got. So, I could be talked into the absolute trick that Llamasoft seems to be. So we'll have to see. I didn't see either of these coming. I managed to avoid spoilers as well, unlike Lammers, who got it all ruined for him.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to speak about. I was just like, which I did when I went live. I was just like, how can I know they have to send their stuff out early, and the pre-orders kind of went live straight away after, which they don't normally do. It's just wondering, like, how can we stop this from happening? It just seems to be the same thing all the time. It's either Amazon. I think this might have been Songbird this time, that they're already putting up like the collections and then just ruin it for everyone. That was the only good thing about, like, I didn't have a clue what was coming afterwards. Like, we already knew one was coming, and it'd already been like completely ruined for everyone. So it was like, it's just annoying that it's just how this just seems to be like constant.
Maybe do the announcements a week before the live
EverLeaks.
Yeah.
Don't send the details out to don't send the details out to like Amazon, Argos, and all that. Announce it, then do it. Do you know what I mean? Or because they're not exactly. I mean, they're small enough to keep this kind of stuff in house, aren't they? They're a small company and all that.
Pass.
I don't know.
Yeah, trouble is, where we're at now is a lot of retailers like Songbird, for instance. I don't want to single anybody out and things like that. Lots of different retailers have now been sent what some of the early cartridges for next year are going to be already. So as a result, you're gonna see leaks now, probably up to Christmas or whatever, which is a bit of a pain in the ass for people like myself. Really, we want those surprises to hit. We want it to be a real boom moment. If everybody in the chat kind of knows, you've pulled the curtain down on the Wizard of Oz. So it's nice for us all as a community to just really enjoy that moment when it's revealed. So hopefully, we can still get some surprises.
Yeah.
Go on,
well, before we moved on, I got Ryan, rest in peace. He sent me his review of this. So this is purely Ryan's reviews. I just wanted to read out because
Ryan's reviews.
What he said, it was quite funny. So he's put Llamasoft, and he's put Intellivision 2 called, and it wants its games back. If I was a llama, I'd be offended to have something this terrible named after me. And then he put Activision. The trailer says go back to the start, and they go back to the start to find these games. I've seen caveman drawings which are more detailed than these games. If someone at school in the 90s had these games, I would have said nobody would play. He'd have nobody to play with. Overall, 2 dreadful collections, but on the plus side, Intellivision 2 may have some competition as the worst Evercade cartridge, and John Hancock might have some competition with World Box Throwing Championship being the worst game on Evercade. I'll just finish off with Attack of the Mutant Clones. What is that all about? And then he also put, final comment, are Blaze even trying 1 megabit of data for £20? So Ryan is not a fan of these two new cards.
Not a fan. Damn. But we all know how much Ryan... We all know how much Ryan's, like, deep down, he does love that Intellivision cart. He can't part with it. He absolutely loves it. So I think secretly he'll be on board with this. Secretly.
Yeah.
Just stay off the internet, easy. But we didn't know anything was coming until that morning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult, isn't it? It's one of these situations, isn't it? Because there will be people that will be really, really jacked for these carts, and then there'll be people that aren't, and then there'll be people that were really excited for Roguecraft and Neo Geo. Admittedly, they're slightly more, I don't want to say high profile, but certainly more well known within the gaming community, probably more modern gaming community for sure. So, it's difficult, isn't it?
Out of all of these, 3, round the table quick. Which one or which ones have you pre-ordered, or are you getting any? I've pre-ordered rare.
Yeah, I've not pre-ordered any, but the rare one is one that I do want.
Yeah, I'm the same. The rare one's the one I want. I just need another one to sort of marry with it so I can order two, or I'll order off like Games Collection where they don't charge me any shipping, which was another option. I've recently just worked out, actually, yes, I could do that if there isn't a second collection. So yeah, I think rare for me.
Yeah. And is this the first time, other than when they originally released the Evercade, that we've got more than 2 collections at once?
Pass.
I think it is. I don't remember us getting 3 collections in one hit before.
No,
I think it's only ever been on release day, wasn't it? It's always been 2.
Yeah.
So
this is a nice way to sort of get some extra money in just before sort of, Christmas time, I think, by doing it with the 3 cartridge format. Perhaps that's something they want to move to in the new year, perhaps doing regularly 3 cartridges at a time and just get a bit more money in them, say 40 quid, if they can do the 3 cartridges, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Well, there we have.
Okay, so like Gene said, just watch the Evercast reaction to see the opposite. Yeah. But that's how the world goes around, isn't it? Different side of the world, different views. That's why I couldn't live over there, because everyone's wired. I mean, it's different. This is what it is.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that's the great thing I think about the community is, other than when you go to other sort of gaming communities, they can unfortunately be quite toxic. But in this case, I think it's just brilliant that we can all have different opinions, and it doesn't affect our friendships, and it's a good time in the group.
Yeah, I think Gene Jack here. Remember they had the delayed cards that then came out in they came out in December, and then the other 2 still came out in December as well. So that might be where they've released 2 in a month in December. But they've never released just 3 in a hit like that you can all just get in one hit. That I can remember. Could be more going forward.
Who knows? Who knows? Right. Shall we jump on to the next topic?
So let me change the background.
Oh, and we get to also play the jingle.
Yes, and I've got a jingle, yeah.
Next topic is... Oh, yeah, you go for it, Blanners.
Okay, the next topic is...
Oh,
that's right, viewers. It's time for Highlight of the Month.
Yes, that. Glorious from Dave Newman music. Always delivers. Highlight of the month is Flea. So a incredible platformer from Al Low over at Low Tech Games. Of course, there's Flea 2, and Tapeworm to add to the full roster. But this being highlight of the month, this is an absolute gem of a game. It's from, like we say, Low Tech, so British studio, made by a Brit. It's one that's really flying the flag for British games. I cannot praise this game enough. It is an absolute gem. I love it. So before I gush anymore, Blunners, Flea as highlight of the month.
Yeah, well, this is one of the first times that highlight of the month for me, I haven't even bothered to download because I've already played the hell out of it. And now I'm starting to see what people were, all these, the full cart collectors. It's the first time it's a great game. I'm hopefully people who haven't played it can actually play it. But because you've played it, I haven't even bothered to download it because I've still kept some of the other games that I've already kept. So I didn't bother updating. But yeah, so yes, we love Aulo. We've had him on. He's always in the chat with us as well at times. Flea is a fantastic game, but yeah, it's the first time I've gone, actually, I don't need to jump on highlight of the month. And it did actually come out straight away as well. It wasn't like a couple of days in or a couple of weeks in. It was pretty much dead on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great title to have. Hopefully people who haven't played it can play it and then go and pick up Indie Heroes 1, because Indie Heroes 1 is one of my favorite carts. But yeah, it's a top cart, but it's not just that. what were the actual? Does it say anything actually? What the update was? I can't remember where it is. What else came with the actual update? But other than just getting them off,
yeah.
I'm gonna highlight them up. So yeah, I'll have a quick look, and I'll come back to you.
Yeah. Derek, do we even need to go there with you with Flea? What are your thoughts on Flea for being highlighted of the month?
Again, like Blunners, when I bought it on the cartridge, I played it to death. Absolutely loved it. I love all that Owlo usually does. Of course, one of my favorites is Choo Choo Mimic that he also brought to the Evercade. He's doing some fiddling with that lately, so I want to know what he's doing. I'm very intrigued. Is he adding new dungeons? Is it a sequel? I don't know. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to find out. But yeah, I mean, Flea is ideal. And I was chatting to Dan Upton in the Hangout recently, and I think he kind of summed it up for me. The whole idea, obviously, of these highlights of the month isn't really for people like myself who own the cartridge. It's more about people that haven't got that cartridge exploring and discovering a new game, which then encourages them to buy that collection. Like Blunners, I haven't updated my EXP or my alphas or verses or anything like that. I keep certain ones with certain games on that I really, really enjoy, and it has to be something extra special to make me really want to download that. But yeah, I'm a massive champion of Flea. I just don't see at the moment for myself personally at any point in updating when I can just stick a cartridge in and play it anyway. But I would urge people, if you are in the chat, go and give it a go. Honestly, you'll have a best time of your life. It's fantastic. It's real pick up and play, and it certainly doesn't disappoint. The difficulty level for me just rises nicely. It doesn't just dump you in the deep end and you have 200 deaths. So yeah, go and give that a go. And yeah, definitely next week, let me know in the comment section how you're getting on.
Yeah. That was it, Gene. It was N64 emulation enhancements, which
that was it.
The only N64 games, Glover, that I can think of that we've got, isn't it?
Yeah, I've forgotten all about that.
I think the main takeaway for me with Flea is exactly, you've hit the nail on the head with it, Derek. It's the learning curve and the difficulty curve with it is one of the fairest in any game, actually, considering Flea is you've got to navigate yourself around the inside of this dog's body, collect blood capsules, blood vials, and just avoid the spikes and just make it to the next level. Your Flea is always jumping, so you just have to, you can tap A or B, whichever one it is, and then you do little jumps, which allows you to sort of not jump quite so high, and when there's spikes at the top, that's a really key thing. It's just a really good platforming puzzle game that by the time you get to maybe some of the harder levels, you've kind of versed yourself in how the mechanics work, and you're ready for that challenge. So if you, for whatever reason, do not have Indie Heroes 1, you should absolutely get this highlight of the month. I have it on NES up there as well. From out, I had to have it on NES because it's a delight. It works wonderfully on the NES. I would be really pleased if Blaze, maybe even for the next highlight of the month, went with something like Tapeworm, just so that people can get another experience of another sort of quirky Owlo puzzle game. Because Tapeworm for me really just, I got addicted to.
Yeah, I love that
major way.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I've just quickly gone through and written down all of the games that have come out for highlight of the month so far, and I want you boys to tell me which one would you have if you could only have one.
Flea.
Midnight Resistance.
Island, Midnight Resistance, Zool, Old Towers, Alligator Hunt, Worms, Truxton, and Flea. I mean, I think you're building a great cart there on its own. You would have
Flea.
What about you? Yes, and yours, Midnight Resistance.
Absolutely, Midnight Resistance. Yeah, I mean, I fell in love with it in the arcade years ago. I bought it on the Commodore 64, and I mean, the SID chip just did the theme tune was banging, and then obviously I picked it up on the Mega Drive, and that just got as close as we were going to get to the arcade version. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I'm torn between Old Towers and Alligator Hunt. I loved Alligator Hunt, especially but Midnight Resistance. Or if I only had my alpha, it would be between Midnight Resistance and Alligator Hunt. But yeah, I'm gonna go just to be different. I'd go Alligator Hunt. So yeah, so
cool.
So do you know what I mean? So there's been what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out so far, all completely different. Yeah, like you said, could you imagine if it was a highlight of the year cart that got released in February? Because obviously there's no indie heroes coming,
and we all pick something different.
Exactly. Could you imagine that? I'd pick, to be honest, if I haven't got the other games, would you pick it up? But
I mean, which cart is Midnight Resistance on?
Data East 1.
Is it an arcade port?
No, it's not. It's a Mega Drive version on that one. Oh, there is the arcade version as well on the Data East arcade one.
So that's 3. That's 4-1.
Midnight Resistance. Oh,
yeah. There's a lot of love for Midnight Resistance there. Yeah.
Yep, that's it for the arcade version.
So I
still think the Mega Drive pips it. It's weird, isn't it?
That's not a game that I'm overly familiar with, and I definitely have the collection. So I need to go and familiarize myself with it. Clearly.
Yeah, I mean, if you enjoy Contra, you're going to have a lot of fun with.
Yeah. Okay.
Chinjak reckons we're getting ready. He's getting ready for Banjo. I just don't think you need that. You need an analog stick for Banjo, mate.
But you could make. Oh man,
I can imagine playing that with a D-pad.
I would love for Banjo to come. That would be so good. I mean, never say never, but
yeah,
that is a pipe dream. I feel.
He did port these games to the N-Gage as well, didn't he? The Nokia N-Gage.
He did.
Be interesting to have those versions actually on the Evercade, and again, I would pick them up and support him. And I'd just love to see them and experience them running on another format. So yeah, I mean that for me would be ideal, and I can't see why Blaze couldn't make it work. To be honest.
Zool 2, that would be a great. That's a great.
Oh, that'd be magic! I would love that.
Dang. So I think everyone is in agreement that highlight of the month is a banger. If you don't have the Indie Heroes 1 collection, you must absolutely get highlight of the month because it's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Right. Let us jump on to our next topic. And just before we do dive into thoughts on the Neo Geo Arcade Collection 1, if you do have a question for our Dear Derek section, please get them into the chat. We will give them a little star. We've had a couple come through already, which we've put some stars on, and we will get to those at the end of the show. So, Neo Geo Arcade 1. Thoughts, Blunners. What are your thoughts on the Neo Geo Arcade 1?
Yeah, so I done a preview when they announced this, and like Neo Geo for me wasn't really popular from where I grew up. And so a lot of the games, obviously Metal Slug and that you've played, but a lot of the other games I hadn't actually played until I actually played them when I was reviewing, like I was having a look at them. But fantastic. It's such a great cart. And for me, both these carts coming out in the same month is unbelievable. Yeah. I think the Neo, the fact that it come like reversible cover. I think a lot of people were getting the same with me, this weird crinkly ass background. I don't know what that's about. So let us know in the chat if you've got it. That's how it turned up. Like, what the heck? And I know that other people have had that as well. But an absolute solid collection. Like, I'm loving it. I love the fact that you got your one side, you got the other. I done a full playthrough on the alpha of Metal Slug. Just unbelievable. And it just makes you think, oh, I want to play 2, I want to play 3, I want to play X, I just want to play the others. But yeah, it's like it caught me by surprise how how much I enjoyed them, to be honest, because they were like, other than obviously Shock Troopers is fantastic as well. The King of Fighters, I'm not a great fighting fan, but still quite a really good game to have in the collection. But yeah, Magic Lord Sengoku is nuts. Like it is like, yeah, I loved it. I love it. It just caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it to be what it's like, but loved it. I know for me, it's the strongest out of the 3 carts because I've played the games that are coming out on the other 2. I think number 1's the strongest. I think 3 might be the weakest for me, but 1 fantastic. Ayala, yeah, my case is like that. It's a shrink wrap machine's too hot. See, it wasn't just mine.
Okay.
That's been like,
that's got to suck.
As we put many crinkly case, yeah,
got a crinkly bottom.
A crinkly bottom.
Yep, crinkly bottom. Where Mr. Bobby next.
He's got crinkly bottom as well. Al has. So yeah. So that's thank God that wasn't just me then. So I was thinking, oh crap, what's happened there? But yes, I do agree with you, Al. They are better, but it was just batshit crazy when I played that carts. And hopefully more coming. They will be. So for me, solid cart, 20 quid, go and buy it. It is fantastic. I think this is one of the must-haves of this year. Must-have Neo Geo Arcade 1.
Yep. Derek, what are your thoughts? Have you managed to get round to picking it up and playing it?
I haven't, but I have been round to a friend of mine, Richard Parkin, and we did have a good evening playing on it. He's a massive Metal Slug fan, so yeah, we managed to play through it and complete that. But yeah, if you're a big Neo Geo fan, you're going to want to pick up that collection 1. I mean, when I was a kid, we used to have a big Neo Geo cabinet with many games on it at the local sports centre, and we used to have to go and jump the turnstile and get on down there. They had a fantastic Street Fighter 2 machine as well, and yeah, we used to love it. I mean, here at my local big hotel at the end of the road, they actually have a Neo Geo cabinet in there as well, still to this day. And should they ever attempt to sell it, yeah, they know I'm first in line to grab that up. So hopefully, yeah, fingers crossed. Especially as they're about to do about an 8 million refit. Hopefully, that's one of the things they're going to annex. So you never know. But yeah, I mean, when I went to school, there was only really a couple of kids who had a Neo Geo back then, and one young man who'd imported a Super Famicom, and a Mario Kart ran faster than on the SNES over here. So yeah, we used to pile around his house and play that Mario Kart because that was really unique. But yeah, unfortunately, they couldn't afford many games, the people with the Neo Geo, so they never really had a great deal of choice because the games were really expensive. But this is a very, very effective way to get yourself a decent Neo Geo collection, and yeah, no need really for original hardware or a worry it's not going to work or anything's going to go wrong, or you've spent hundreds of pounds on a cartridge and now it's failed 2 weeks later. So yeah, £20, what a bargain. If you're into it, you're not going to want to miss this collection.
I just want to announce on here, so sorry Ollie, just before you know,
no, you're okay, mate.
Do you then have to pay your taxes on top of that? Because it's like in America, you see the price, that's not actually the price. Like over here, you see the price, that's what you're paying. There's none of this hidden tax crap, because it caught me out plenty of times when I was over there, like having to call my brother in with some extra money because I was like, what's going on? But so $30, I've just done the translation, that's £22.14p. So they are paying £2.14 more than we do for the £20 carts. And that is that before these tariffs hit? Or so yeah, so £2.14 more than what we pay, but if you've got to pay tax on top of that, you're looking at even more. But for over here in the UK, $19.99, fantastic pickup.
Yeah, could be the Trump tax, couldn't it? You get that little bit of Trump tax. Albeit, from what I hear, most retailers are currently absorbing the Trump tax in the hope that they'll come to some kind of negotiation before these businesses have to start passing that charge on to their consumers.
See, everyone's got crinkly bottoms.
Dang, man.
Yeah, man, I hate that. I think I wound a cart like that once.
So I've just had a quick look online because I suddenly thought, do you know what? I need this cart in my life. Let's just jump online and see if anywhere has it. And of course they don't. Everywhere has sold out. Balls, absolute balls.
Oh, no crinkly bottom for you, Ollie.
No, mate.
Nope, that's it.
I'd be intrigued to know if anybody knows of any site online that actually does have it, because that would be delightful if anybody gets wind of somewhere that's got it. Yeah, do chuck us a message later if you come across it, because it's absolutely right up my street. It's just something I've had a lot going on, and I've not managed to get around to pre-ordering any of the carts that I'm after. So I think with Rare, I'm just going to have to get on with it, because otherwise I'm just going to miss.
I got all of mine from Amazon.
Yeah.
So, and touch wood, they've been all right so far.
Mm-hmm.
Rare obviously went up before the other two did, so I just jumped on that straight away.
Oh, yeah. Sorted.
Yeah, because Rare has to happen. You know, it's a must. But to be fair, there's quite a lot of them that are a must. And yeah, Roguecraft is high on my list as well. You can still just about pick that up from certain places, so I need to get on that as well. Oh, there's just not enough time or money or anything in the world. What a first world problem I am suffering from. Excellent. Shall we dive on to the next cart?
Yeah.
So the next cart is, of course, Roguecraft DX. Thoughts? So, Blanners, another one you've managed to pick up.
What a month to be on the Evercade. Roguecraft, unbelievable. No crinkly arse here either. Where do I start, man? The music is fantastic. Once you get your bearings about, like, it's kind of on a tilt, so up goes kind of that way, left goes that way. So you're trying to work out. Once you get that out and work out your timings, a lot of the times, I do a little sneaky thing where I'll go into a wall, press down, wait for them to come towards me, and then once they're in, bang, I always get that first hit in. So you've got to be clever with how you do it. But the music's fantastic. Obviously, it's just more of the same from Rogue 64.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics it's brilliant. It looks. I'm so glad it came over. It didn't win 2025 debug indie game of the year for no reason. Do you know what I mean? Like I was saying on our last one, a big box Amiga version would have been brilliant. The poster inside is like really thick, strong. Like I don't know. There's the poster that's inside. It is really thick as well, real thick, strong quality. It feels like, £5 notes. It feels like that. That kind of quality. It's really nice. It's fantastic. I loving it. I can see if people are in the Hangout, they would have seen the poll I put up earlier. We'll get onto that afterwards, because I understand people's why they think like that. I understand, because you have to make sure at the minute that you've got time to sit down and have a proper go at this. The 3 ability levels, you've got like the beginner, it starts with more hearts. You've got like the wizard, which is like the hard mode. And it is that you can shoot, but you're a lot weaker. So there's 3 different modes to get through. There's hidden rooms on each level as well that you got to find. I know Gene Joke said you can see on the flooring kind of bit, there's different flooring there's a hidden room there. But yeah, once you get further through the game, the music changes as you go through as well. I was really happy, and I think both of these carts, that's quite hard to beat this month for me. Evercade, they're gonna have I don't think they with the carts that have been announced. I think these two are very strong. There's some strong games.
Well, I've just managed to find Roguecraft on Amazon for 19 quid. So that has just happened. So beautiful. Next step, I will be able to discuss Roguecraft, which is not the point, because we should be discussing it now. But there we go. Better late than never. Derek, do we even need to go back over the love that you have for Roguecraft?
No, I mean, hopefully now people can see why I was so passionate in wanting to bring this to the Evercade, because it really is a crowning jewel. It's not to say that Rogue 64 isn't still my favorite, but yeah, I mean, Roguecraft has a lot to offer. Its look, you know, the isometric look that we used to love back in the day. It brings all that kind of magic, the music, and now the guys are porting it to more systems than you could possibly imagine. Things like the NES. If you've got a Spectrum Next, it's going to be coming there. There's loads and loads. Nintendo Switch, you name it, it's on its way. And I gather they're going to be doing something special with the Nintendo Switch version. So we've got that to look forward to as well. So yeah, I'm really hoping I'm going to be able to get like a big box version for the Switch. It's something I'm really going to push for with the guys. I did try. I really did. Honestly, you've got to believe me. I tried so hard with Badger Punch Games to try and make that happen for the Evercade. But unfortunately, as I say, the guys were happy the way that Blaze had done it. And they didn't, you know, they weren't going to budge. It was a deal breaker for me, but that's okay. You know, everybody's different. I really love the big box Rogue 64 that I've got. And yeah, I mean, had they have done a special edition here for the Evercade, undoubtedly, I would have lapped that up. In fact, I told them I would actually have bought others and done them as giveaways. So, you know, they missed out on extra sales too, just for the sake of, you know, a nice big box there, or even, you know, a nice model, you know, that they could have put in there. It would have been fantastic. We could have had possibly one of the most epic single releases in Evercade history. But yeah, the powers that be wouldn't do it. So, you know, it is what it is. But hopefully you're still enjoying the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved having the Badger Punch guys on when we discussed Roguecraft. The fact that the DX version is clearly at the moment still exclusive to Evercade, which is great. But like I say, there's just been so much going on for me in my general life at the moment that it's just one of these ones that I've just completely forgot that it's even there. But I have rectified that mistake, and it should be with me Wednesday, and I will look forward to putting in some serious fun. I think I'll probably just give it a quick blast for a little bit to start with, get used to how it is, and then find some time to dedicate a solid run. Because yeah, it's a roguelike type game, isn't it? So it's clearly going to have a learning curve. It's going to have a punishment factor to it. But let's face it, that's my kind of jam.
Yeah, it's as I said, like there was a couple of differences I noticed from the version I downloaded. As soon as it was announced, I went straight on, Googled it, got it off itch.io, and little things I noticed, like in the corners when it's telling you how much left you've got in your cooldown, how many steps you've got until your potion runs out. That isn't on the other version that I was playing beforehand. But yeah, like you said, there's a reason that Debug kept it on high regard. And guys who haven't seen our interview with them, I suggest you get onto the channel, go back through, and they're brilliant. They're really good, and they go through little bits of bobs that they were doing differently just for the Evercade version.
Yeah, it really is an absolute delight. So yeah, glad I've rectified that live as well. Look at that, rectifying my mistakes live on air. Right, we are edging very, very close now to the end of our show, where we will have dear Derek. But so yes, if you do have any questions, now is your chance. Get them in the chat. We will get to as many of them as we can. Okay, next topic is something I believe Blunners has done.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is go into the Hangout on a day of the show, get a poll in there going, and you know that there's no if like people will say it how it is in there. And there was a lot of talk about Roguecraft not having save states and how it affects certain people, and why isn't there? I understand why it's not, but I also understand that the people that are saying why isn't it? Because one thing I've noticed is that I wanted to play it at, like the other day, but I was like, oh, I've got to go and pick the kids up from school. I've only got 20 minutes. And I was thinking, well, I can't play that then because otherwise I'm just going to have to leave it on charge or leave it lock screen like you did back in the day, leave it on in the corner and hopefully that like it doesn't turn off. So I do understand why people have save state, but I also understand why it's not there because it makes you more cautious, and it's that Dark Souls effect that you like. Do you know what I mean? That's the point of the game. You can't be silly. But yeah, so what I did is I put up a poll. Should Roguecraft allow save states? And yes, no, or flam me up. And had over 83 votes. There's 17 comments. So someone's put here. So I've got 62% have gone for yes. So 62% of people have said yes, it should. 31% have said no. And 7% have said flatten. I'll just quickly read some of the comments. Just like, obviously I won't say who it is because I'm not allowed, but I will say some of the comments. There's a couple say there was more at stake with no save states, making the later levels more intense with the greater reward on completion. And then when you have the time to reach those later levels, someone then replied to it. And then you've got, yes, I don't want the save state so I can save scum. I just want to be able to finish the playthrough if I've got long enough. Another one, I think this game would benefit from a type of pause and resume feature so you could jump in and out without having to finish the whole game in one sitting. Another one, I'd say no. I've just completed it on the naughty thing, beginning with an SD, using save states, and less than that, an hour to complete it. So also probably won't ever go back to it. So it's a very short game with save states and doesn't have the replayability factor, in my opinion. That's what he's put. Nintendo, another person has put just a suspend feature so you can resume your game at a later date and find it difficult to have the time. And then someone's put, and after a week of delivery, is anybody of the people that answer yes try to play it properly or just given up straight away? And then friend of the channel who's always on there, he's just put the point is there's no other way to try and play it in brackets properly. There's no choice. I have played quite a few times and died quite a few times. I've also had to quit/kill myself a few times because I ran out of gaming time, and I had to go somewhere else and generally have 20 to 30 minute window of time throughout my week where I can play video games. I don't remember the last time I had an hour plus of uninterrupted to play a game. The people saying it doesn't need save states appear to not understand the in brackets problem, or they're in the great position that the inevitable position that they can game whenever they want for how long they want. So like a lot of people are saying you shouldn't be able to save and continue from where you left off, but and then start again. Yes, 2 reasons. You shouldn't have to just to do it because there's no option to, but 2, however, someone else's choices to play and enjoy a game does not have any impact on me whatsoever, so it's none of my business. So if someone wants to save states, for example, who cares? Do you know what I mean? So you get it. There's pros and cons. It's not there at the minute. Is this something they might put in later, a later date? It's a big topic, really, because a lot of people have been going on about it in the group. And yeah, it's just interesting to see what are your guys' thoughts on save states of these games.
I think it definitely is a style, isn't it? A roguelike or a rogue type game. It is a particular style designed to be a particular way. It really is difficult because Dark Souls, Demon Souls, all of these types of games that are notoriously difficult, they do have a state of some sort, but it's normally per area. So whatever area you're in, there is effectively like a hub. So we've got bonfires in Dark Souls. You've got the spawn points in Demon Souls. But you always go back to those. So you could be right at the very end. And yes, you can open up little shortcuts here and there to sort of speed your time up again. But, you die, you go back to the beginning. And without your gear, you have to go back to your body to get your gear, and if you die again, you lose it all. It's a trope of this particular genre of games, and I can't. It's difficult because I can't imagine somebody writing to FromSoft and saying you need to include more save states in Demon Souls because I don't have the time to play it. Because that's not. Hey Tess, how we doing? It's not what that particular genre is designed to do. It's designed to be a very particular experience. But that being said, an hour and a half into something like Dark Souls or Demon Souls, you will get to the next bonfire or the next trigger so that you can effectively just start from that point. So you do make progress, then you can stop. But by all accounts, I don't think Roguecraft DX has a particularly long playthrough. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming maybe if you're really giving it a couple of hours, maybe in your first run. I don't know.
If that depends how you want to play the game. Do you know what I mean? If you want to just run through it, dodging everyone, just get the key and get the hell out of there, then it's up. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't take you that long, actually. But yeah, Derek, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, if you look at roguelikes on, I was playing obviously Hammerwatch over the summer. In that, there's various saves throughout the dungeons. I couldn't have completed it if there wasn't. I think I put 12, 13 hours into just the very first level dungeon. It's broken up into windows. So obviously the credits roll and then you can open up, say, floor 2, and then you can play through that. But yes, without multiple saves, I wouldn't have done it. Even on something like Double Dragon Gaiden, which is a beat-em-up roguelike, it saves at the end of each stage. Obviously, you don't have to do it that way. You can play right through and beat the final boss if you like. But my life doesn't work that way, unfortunately. I need those saves. Recently, I got a game called Cult Canyon, and in that you play through, and at any point you die in the 3 levels, you're put back to the beginning. But it does have an ability to switch on save states. But if you use them, you can't unlock any achievements. But it does give you a chance to master some of the bits that you're finding tricky, like, say, the bear fight in one of the levels. And once you get that down, then you go back into the rogue side of it, and you can go right through, because obviously when you beat the end of game boss, you then have to go back through every single stage you've just come through to get back to the beginning. So it's a really, really tough roguelike. But, you can do it in under an hour with plenty of practice. But yeah, I mean, something like Roguecraft, it would have massively benefited from save states. If, like myself, you're sitting down to play a game, your name's called, you got to go out, you got to go and deal with this, you got to go and deal with that. You can't just dedicate all your day to gaming. So I think it would have been something that if you didn't want to use it, you didn't have to use it. So I think that would have been ideal. Or perhaps the ability to turn it on, but perhaps you didn't get a high score at the end of the game if you did. But at least it gives people a chance to play it and enjoy it. And that's what you want. When you're putting that £20 down, you want to really, really enjoy that game. You don't want to pay the £20 and then think, do you know what? I think I'm ever going to get round to this game. I mean, there's nothing worse than that. I always research games before I purchase them to make sure that I've got enough time to actually play them. And in some instances, I have bought games, huge games that I still haven't played yet because I'm not sure I can dedicate the time to them. But yeah, especially with roguelikes. I mean, if you're buying something like Hades on the Switch, I mean, that's an amazing, amazing game. And every time you die, you get put back to the beginning, but you get to keep everything you found in the dungeon. Now, maybe that was an option they could have explored. So at least you got to keep some of that treasure and things like that. So when you did your next run, you could at least carry on with your score or something. But yeah, unfortunately, they don't seem to have thought about all gamers maybe in this, and just a select few, which is fine if you've got plenty of time or you're a very good gamer. But if you haven't, no, as I say, I don't see myself at the moment wanting to grab it because I don't think I can dedicate some solid time into it without any interruptions. Maybe after Christmas in the new year, but it's a shame that debate's come up in it, but I can see why of both sides. So yeah, I mean, there's nobody there in the right or the wrong, but hopefully it's something that perhaps Badger Punch can add at a later date.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Hopefully they do, because like you said, it doesn't affect me how other people enjoy their games. I mean, if you want to save state and do that, crack on, mate. It's up to you. Obviously, I'm playing like Silk Song at the minute, Hollow Knight, and it is hard as nails. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to just be able to save right outside the bloody front door of like the boss rather than have to run through. But guess what? It's not on there, so suck it up, Buttercup. That's what you got to do. You just got to deal with it, haven't you? So it is frustrating. Like you said, maybe do a bit of research before you look into it. But yeah, it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, because you could. Yeah, I think all the suggestions are very valid, and everybody's opinion on it is also very valid. We all game differently. I just keep coming back to that Dark Souls and Demon Souls analogy, and I'm just trying to think. But I mean, they're a massive studio. They sell millions of games. Like, they can afford to piss off an entire, subgenre of gamers, can't they? They can just be like, well, don't play my game then. And, and that's it. They're still going to sell a buttload of games because there's a huge market for that particular thing. But when it's an indie game, it's, it's on an indie system effectively. Yeah. I keep thinking that maybe even just, at the end of every umpteen levels that you do, that kind of creates just a save, and then you can kind of pick that up when you left off. So maybe you just got to plan a bit in advance, knowing that maybe you could get through a particular area in, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, get to the save point. But
I was saying just one more thing I wanted to bring up on these two games. Can anyone in the chat let us know? Because it was in the Hangout quite a lot. Is people were having issues with Neo Geo Collection 1, or the Arcade Collection 1. Thank God I haven't. But I think what it was people having actually issues in different systems, putting their cart into different systems and it not getting registered, not recognizing it and not working. So I'm not sure if Evercade put out anything to saying, look, just make sure you download the latest firmware or et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know if you heard anything on Twitter, on X, Derek, but I know it was all over Evercade Hangout at the time.
I did. I had lots of people inbox me that said that it arrived. They put it into various consoles. It hadn't worked at all, unfortunately, which was pretty scary, to be honest. And when my friend Richard received his, I was a bit concerned because he said, well, I might stream with it. And one was, oh, no, quick, put it in first and test it. Because, last thing you want going out over a stream is that you've just stuffed it in and it doesn't work. But luckily, as I say, his did work. But yeah, it's very, very frightening when that's happened, because I've had it happen to me, and there's nothing worse. I know Blaze are going to replace it, but that's not the point. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. I've never ordered a Nintendo Switch game and it hasn't worked. Exactly. So yeah, it's so important, that quality control. It's not a case of if or when. People are putting their money down and they're expecting a good product. So it's so important to really make sure that what you're doing is you're getting quality components and that you're testing it properly, because there's nothing worse than getting this, because obviously now some people have said to me, well, hang on a minute, now it's made me frightened, to buy any more Evercade cartridges. Yeah. I don't want people moving away from the product. So it's so important that Blaze do their bit, their end.
So they wiggled it around a little bit. So what was it? Just like the pins not connected properly, or do you know what I mean? What was that end on?
That'll pack up at some point.
Yeah, if it's doing that, like,
because I've had it myself, and yeah, it kept working for a while and then it stopped. So hopefully it won't stop out of warranty for you.
Yeah, and if you do have any issues with your carts, get in touch with Blaze. They're pretty good at getting them sorted, getting them replaced. Normally it's just a case of film the cart or photos of the cart not working, attach them to the email so they haven't got to ask you for that. That will speed your process up a bit. And yeah, I agree with Derek. It shouldn't happen in the first place, but it's good to know that if it does happen, your customer service is there. They're going to sort you out. So yeah, annoying is what it is, really, more than anything. Right, we have got a few minutes, shall we? Yes.
Do you have a question? Well, now's your chance. It's time to ask Derek.
Ta-da! So let's get to the starred comments, which there are a few this evening. So let's jump straight in with Colm. Any idea on what's going on in America with retailers saying they are sold out of Neo Geo 2 and 3?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that is a big thing. I would imagine they'll get a bit more of an allocation, I would have thought, but they have to obviously wait for Blaze to get that tick. A few places I know that have gone out of stock of things like Metroid Prime 4, but having spoken to them behind the scenes, they assure me there's going to be more stock once the actual date's announced for its release. So again, with Neo Geo, I would imagine Blaze is doing similar. They're crunching the numbers, seeing what they can produce, and then hopefully those retailers will come back in stock. So don't give up hope yet.
Don't give up hope. Next question from Gene Joke. Dear Derek, do you think Indie Game of the Month will return next year?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I think massively we're going to see Indie Game of the Month return. To be honest, I would like to have seen Home Computer Heroes for the year and then Indie the year after and sort of oscillated one between the other. I think that would have been absolutely fantastic and would have really given fans on the Evercade something to look forward to. But Indie Heroes will return next year. Obviously, hopefully from April, we'll see the first new game.
Yeah, I've really missed it. I've missed it this year. I think it was like it was something that you didn't know what you were getting. It was like you didn't know what it played like. It was a really great topic. When you're getting games you've already played and you're a bit like, these them games that were like you didn't know what was coming. You didn't know what to expect.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, even if the game wasn't for me, for instance, or it was, it was still a nice welcome at the end of each month. I think by having the highlight of the month for people like myself who have large majority of the cartridges, if anything, you sort of go off Blaze a little bit in that respect, because instead of thinking, the new indie game of the month, it's just going to be another one I've got on one of my other cartridges. So I personally, but obviously for new people coming into the ecosystem, it's great, but I think they've got to cater for those people who are also who already have those games. So to not do it would be fool's gold, to be honest.
Okay. Next question from a long-time supporter, Nicholas Skippins, and that is, now that Activision is coming to Evercade, could we see Pitfall, the Mayan Adventure Mega CD, and Pitfall 3D Beyond the Jungle PS1 come to Evercade?
Well, it would definitely be possible for the PS1. The Mega CD, I don't really know too much about that, but I do own the PS1 version of Pitfall like that. It's a brilliant game. There's a fantastic one on I think it's the GameCube as well, a fantastic version. But yeah, I mean, the PS1 was great fun. Obviously, we'd like to see Pitfall 2. Now we've had Pitfall 1 as well. I know a lot of fans were a bit disappointed that didn't also feature on this collection. But as you can imagine, they would break that over a couple to make sure you buy those collections if you like it. But I'd certainly be up for a Gigacart with a bit of Pitfall 3D on it. Anybody who's never played it, it is actually really good. The controls aren't bad, and I found a lot of fun in it.
Excellent. Nice. So, next question is from Alston Hammer. Dear Derek, do you think Blaze will release new fireware for Neo Geo 2?
Firmware.
Yeah, for Neo Geo to enable difficulty adjusting. Neo Geo games usually have several difficulty levels.
I'd like to think so. One of the biggest groans I've had on X is people saying that they wanted dip switches, and I can completely get that. I told people before these cartridges came out, these games are hard as nails, so you know, you're not going to get far. But I'd like to think they'll be working on dip switches for it. I've not heard anything at the moment, but it doesn't mean that's something that perhaps couldn't come out for Christmas. And I'm sure that would delight people, you know, the world over, because yes, some of those games are absolutely brutal. So yeah, I can completely sympathize.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I reckon we might be able to get through all of these. So another one from Al. Dear Derek, do you know if the reversible covers will continue for Neo Geo releases?
I don't know. I'm glad they did get it working this time. Of course, it was supposed to happen with Atari Lynx, if you remember. But unfortunately, yeah, Blaze had a problem with the printers, and it didn't actually come off, which was a real shame, because I'm a big Atari Lynx fan. But I'd like to see it continue with the Neo Geo collections. And again, it would be a real shame if they didn't, because I think that's just an extra added bit of value for people that want to put those brown covers on and perhaps have all three. That are big Neo Geo fans. So let's hope, fingers crossed. Yeah, that's definitely a feature.
Mm-hmm. Another one from Mr. Skippins. Now that we have VIC 20 games coming to Evercade via Llamasoft collection, could we see C16 and Commodore Plus 4 games on Evercade?
Wouldn't that be fantastic? As you know, I run the biggest page in the world for the Commodore 16 and Plus 4 on Facebook. I've had games launched like Attic Attack for the C16 and the Plus 4 and things like that. Obviously, I'm good friends with people like Chris Snowden, who created the game Church of Death. So yeah, I'm a huge ambassador for the computer. And to be honest, yeah, I mean, Blaze not bringing that one. I would love to see a collection featuring the likes of Treasure Island, Fire Ant, Icicle Works. They would all be fantastic classics to bring to the console. Again, though, they're brutal, but if you've played them as long as I have, it's not too painful. I've actually completed a large amount of them, but I think there's some enjoyment there to be had for fans, and fingers crossed, yeah, Blaze can make that happen, because at the moment there's nowhere in the world you can experience those games other than really on like a YAP emulator or original hardware. So it would be great to see it come, yeah, to the Evercade. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Okay. Another one here from Colm. If you could build the VS successor, what media would you have the games on?
Oh my goodness gracious. There we are.
Now there's a loaded question.
Mini disc.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, any successor to the Evercade will be doing things like the PlayStation 2, the GameCube, that sort of thing. Obviously, it'd be great if they could get Atari Jaguar working properly on it, and yeah, look at some things like the Mega 32 and things like that. That would things like are very tricky. As I say, the fact they've got an Atari ST game on the Llamasoft, though, just goes to prove that is possible. And Atari ST emulation is notoriously tricky. I'll be very interested to see how that runs. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, on the Switch version, it goes without a hiccup. So yeah, it just depends with the Evercade how that's handling. But yeah, I would absolutely love to see a successor, but in time. At the moment, there's still so many collections I think they can pick from. Let's get some of that System 3 and things like that on there, yeah, because I think there's a lot to be explored, especially with the indie side of things. Yeah. I don't even think they've scratched the surface there.
No, I don't think they have either.
I could literally take these guys to the land of the Holy Grail, and we could have some of the greatest indie titles ever. I mean, look, just look at the facts. What are some of people's favorite games? Roguecraft, Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Who brought that? Yeah, Cathedral and Aura's Awakening. You're looking at him. Dodo. You're looking at him. Yeah.
Oh.
At the end of the day, you know I can make it happen.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's lead them there.
Yeah,
let's lead them there, Derek. Lead the way.
Yeah, I do think some of them indie stuff could be their bread and butter, and then just
I love it. I love to see that.
Can't get anywhere else.
To play it physically.
Yeah,
there's all these games we've seen. You can grab them physically. Llamasoft, Activision, you can grab it physically from eBay. But can you get some of these indie titles physically? And the answer is no. A lot of them you really can't. So, let's preserve those before they get deleted or gone with time. That's the last thing we want, is to have memories in a care home of a game you once enjoyed, and instead, it's been deleted. Nobody knows what you're on about. You're just an old crackpot. So, come on.
And last question this evening we've got from 741. Dear Derek, what do you think of the Vectrex Mini that got shown off recently?
I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I just think that, there's so many people that haven't experienced Vectrex games and actually put the colors onto the screen, and how that really makes it pop and come to life. I love the Vectrex. I know a few people who have got an original one, but I must admit, to get that mini, and I gather it's limited edition, so if you don't get in, you don't get one. So, if you're thinking in the comments of picking one up, do go ahead and get in on it, because
looks amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, honestly, the games are basic, but they are so much fun. And I think a lot of people missed out on the Vectrex years ago. It's a brilliant console, and it doesn't receive enough love. I mean, I wanted Evercade originally to do some Vectrex games and actually put the little strips that you could put over the screen to break those games pop. And I just think that would have been magic. Hopefully it's not too late for them to do something, because of Vectrex collection. And I think there's so many people out there, people who have and haven't played it, that would pick it up.
Yeah, I think I said on on one of our shows recently, I would love a Vectrex. I would just absolutely love to be able to play a Vectrex, but it's just definitely not on the cards to add to my collection of things. So having something like this,
sell a kidney, mate, to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I knew a bloke who bought a broken one recently, and he was actually able to put it right. But it was touch and go, I think, and it scared me to death that he parted with quite a large amount for a broken one. So
But yeah, a Vectrex collection, that would be something. I'd be all in on that. I think that would be an absolute delight. And just like that, we have hit the end of the show. Blunders took a sharp intake of breath there. Have I just clipped your wings?
Yeah, no. It's mad. It's gone really quick. We're an hour and 22 in.
I know.
A lot to talk about, wasn't there?
There was an awful lot to talk about this evening. So thank you, everyone that has joined us along live. As always, you have all been very, very welcome, and it is great to see everybody's opinions coming through into the chat as well. So thank you everybody for coming along for the journey today. We have our next show is tomorrow night. We have the 3rd episode of the Total Steam Deck podcast. Hopefully Triangle Face will have sorted out his trousers, and he will be able to join us for the 3rd episode of the Total Steam Deck podcast. Please come along and join that. It starts at the later time of 9 o'clock. And we have got lots of great things to be talking about, all to do with the Steam Deck. So come join us on that. Now, for all the usual gubbins, if you can give the video a little thumbs up, because that helps us out an incredible amount. And obviously do keep the conversations going in the comments section below. We do read the comments, and we love to see people chatting away in there. What else? Oh yes, subscribe. You've got to make sure you're subscribed, because if you don't, then you're not. But it's free of charge to subscribe, and a subscription helps us out a huge amount. We've recently just hit another milestone for subscribers. I think we're now at 3,700, which is a crazy number for us.
I'm just going to drop in the chat a link to the Hangout.
Oh yes, and if you do jump on over to the Hangout. It's a group very much Evercade focused, and a lot of people will tell you what they think in there. So, play nicely and you will get on just fine. The other way that you can support the channel is to become a channel member. At the moment, it is just £1, a squid, uno poundo. If you would like to help support the channel, all the money that we make from the channel goes right back into you guys with giveaways and all the other stuff that we buy for you all. So yeah, if you fancy leveling up, it's a mere £1, and that helps the channel go a really long way. So thank you to everyone who is a channel member. And again, thanks to Derek for joining us. He will be joining us again in 2 weeks' time. And I might even have managed to get a bit of Roguecraft played by then. So I'll be able to see where we're at, see what all the fuss is about. So yeah, so from us all here, good evening. I hope you all have a very good week, and we will see you tomorrow with no crinkly bottoms for the Steam Deck podcast. So good evening, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.